Hello guys and girls, welcome back to another video. Today we're checking out the Laney CUB 12. Let's go! So welcome back. Today we're checking out this big boy here. It's an amp that I have had in the studio for a while. It's not really mine, I have it on a loan from a friend, but it's basically always here, but I rarely use it just because it's on the other side of the room. And so I sometimes try to use it in stereo or just by itself without any effects, just plug the guitar in and have a blast. And I have to say, it's a really underrated amp. It's not on the stock speaker right now, and I think it's an upgrade because the stock speaker is really the Achilles heel of this amp. I think it really shines with anything else than the stock speaker. I don't know if this Eminence Legend is the perfect speaker for it, but you can use it to get really great sounds with it. But let's check out the specs. So it's a 15 watt all tube amp. It has an EQ section, as you can see. It has the tone, the volume, bass, middle, treble, and the gain. It has two inputs, one 15 watt and one that's supposedly less than 1 watt. But don't underestimate it. I think that the 1 watt version sometimes can sound better than the 15 watt. Basically, if you want more headroom, you go with the 15 watt, and if you want to crank it much easier at lower volumes, you can use the 1 watt version. It doesn't really affect the behavior of the amp in a way that it's completely different between the 15 and the 1 watt, just because you have the master volume that really can let you get with a really high gain, that's high gain for this kind of amp, at a very low volume. If you want to have the power stage warm though, you have to be like at 5-6 of the volume, and I think where it really shines, but I couldn't get it at a louder volume because it's really loud, first of all, just like any 15 watt amp, and tube amps in general can get really loud. The other thing is that, yes, it has an external speaker, but you cannot use, for example, an attenuator with the built-in speaker because it's wired. You have to do some jiggy-jaggy to use the one, and I didn't have the time, and since it's not my amp, I'm not gonna mess with it. It also has an effect loop, which is really useful, and it really sometimes lacks on like these kind of amps in this kind of price range. I remember my Bluetooth Junior was like twice as expensive than this used. It was like 3 times new, and it didn't have an effects loop, which is something that I think is really necessary into today's day and age. I'd rather have it than not. It may change the sound of the amp, yes. It's useful, and sometimes it's more useful to have it than to have a little bit of compromise in the sound. Yes, I think it's needed, especially if you plan on using the amp as the distortion platform and not just have it as a clean platform, because, I mean, let's get it out of the way. Because, I mean, it's gonna sound crap if you put a reverb or a delay into the front end of the amp when it's distorted. But yeah, this is not a new version. It's pretty old. I think it's from 2012, 2013, something like that. There is a new version of the CUB 12, which I think sounds even better than this, and it's really affordable. I will try to find it and bring it on the channel if I can. There were 2 versions of this. I think there was a reverb version. This one hasn't got one. Basically, that's the difference. From stock, it's more prone to distortion. It has less headroom than this particular amp. It's really easy to clip it. And that's because my friend installed a different preamp tube. The first preamp tube is not a 12AX7, it's a 12AT7, which is a kind of a cleaner tube, harder to clip. And it's also a new old stock. I think it's kind of a Philips, old Philips, something like that. And it really adds to the sound of the amp, and it makes it more useful, especially on live situation. I remember it was really hard for him to get loud with the volume, to, you know, keep up with the drummer and with me and with the voices. We didn't used to mic the amps, first because we didn't have enough mics, second because we were young. And so yeah, he always found himself where he needed the volume, but at one point the amp just started distorting without giving him more volume. With this trick, he was able to get cleaner at a higher volume. But let's check the demo out. I've mic'd it up with an SM57. I try to find the best spot for the mic. So yeah, let's check it out and then I'll tell you what I think. What do you think? I think it sounds good. It has the potential to sound better with a different speaker, I think. I don't know which could be the right one. I think that it can sometimes lack the bass. If you try to use the EQ really isn't that effective. I don't know if that's how it's wired inside, but it seems like it's more affected by the tone knob than it is by the EQ section. Although it works, but it's kind of subtle. It's not that you can go from very, very dark to very, very brilliant and, you know, cut the middle a lot and transform it into another amp. It's really, really kind of different from the EQ section, for example, of my Marshall. This one, it's not that. And also it reminds me of the Blues Junior to that, because the Blues Junior 2 wasn't, before modding it, at least, it's not the wildest EQ in the world. It's really subtle. But I don't know, it's got its own thing, and it's pretty affordable. You can find it anywhere on the used market. I think you can get it for less than 200. Bear in mind that the speaker inside is a little bit crap. It's not really unusable, but you will be better off with a better speaker like this one. This Eminence one, I think it was 30-40 euros new. Yeah, this is it for today. Let me know in the comments what you think. Subscribe if you want to support me, follow me on Instagram, and I'll catch you in the next one. See ya!